So if you had walked up to me a couple months ago and said, "Hey, movie guy, who's going to win the Academy Awards this year?" I would have told you with a fair degree of certainty that this is not going to be a great year for the Oscars because one battle after another, Paul Thomas Anderson's movie was winning all of the precursor awards, and so it's certainly going to win the big prizes on Oscar Sunday. But my, how things can change quickly, which I'm happy about because my favorite film of the year, Sinners, is suddenly very much in competition. Hey everybody, I'm Sean McBride, the movie guy, and today let's talk about Oscars and all those Oscar races. So let's make some Oscar predictions, which is an annual exercise in futility for me. I've been reviewing movies for about 30 years now, and I've yet to get a perfect ballot. I usually do very well. I usually miss one or two, but I've yet to get that perfect ballot. Who knows? Maybe this is the year. Anyway, take everything I say with a grain of salt. Now, let's put it out here. This is going to be a two-picture race in most of the major categories between One Battle After Another and Sinners. We'll get to those at the end, but there are some easy races to call here. And so let's start off with the no-brainers. So maybe the easiest award of the night to predict is Jessie Buckley's win in the Best Actress category for her performance in Hamnet. That's right, Hamnet, not The Bride, which is playing theaters right now. But look, she's won every preseason precursor award here, so she is going to run away with this one. Jessie Buckley takes Hamnet Best Actress. The other seemingly obvious choice is that Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein will win many of the craft awards. So you can expect it to clean up with the best production design, the best makeup, and the best costume awards. I don't think it was a great year for those categories. And look, I'm not a big fan of Frankenstein, but it obviously did very well in those specific categories. So it should easily win those awards as well. Another one that I think is going to be fairly obvious is the best sound. Now, this usually goes to the loudest movie, and I think F1 is the movie that has the most vroom vroom-tastic sound of them all, but it also has some great artistic abilities. So I think F1 wins for best sound. And then let's get into the whole K-pop Demon Hunter categories here. I think K-pop easily wins for Best Animated Feature. I also think Golden easily wins for Best Song. If it doesn't, expect millions of preteen girls to storm the Academy here. This one seems like a no-brainer. Another one that seems fairly certain is that James Cameron's third Avatar movie, Avatar Fire and Ash, should easily win for Best Visual Effects. Once again, those films, I'm not a huge fan of that movie, but those films are such obvious tour de forces that I think this one will easily win the Visual Effects prize. In the best documentary feature, I think that it's going to go to A Perfect Neighbor, which is over on Netflix right now. That's the one that seems to have the momentum, although I will point out that Mr. Nobody versus Putin, which is the latest film, and they have been spending a lot of money. I keep getting all these targeted ads trying to convince me to vote for that film over The Perfect Neighbor, but I'm going to hold to my guns. I think The Perfect Neighbor, it wins the best documentary award. And similarly, kind of over in international feature, the foreign language competition, this is an interesting one. My personal bit would be The Secret Agent, which is the Brazilian film. I love that one here. I think that was a wonderful film. And then Jafar Panahi's It Was Just an Accident, which has some momentum behind it because he's a filmmaker who's been, he's got an arrest warrant out for him because his government doesn't like his films. And so I think a lot of people will kind of support him on principle there. But the one that is the obvious choice is A Sentimental Value, which is a film that is a very good movie, but it also has acting nominations, some very high profile acting nominations. And I think it's impossible to deny that not only is it a great film, but with those acting awards here, I think Sentimental Value wins the Best International Feature Award. One last kind of a side category to talk about. Let's talk about Weapons and Amy Madigan. I think she's going to win the Best Supporting Actress award here. Weapons was not a movie that was on anybody's radar, but we've had a lot of these big movies here, and I don't think that the supporting actresses in those movies, though, were anywhere near as showy as what Amy Madigan did in Weapons. Like I say, she's a beloved actress here, so think of it kind of as a career award as much as anything else. But I actually think Amy Madigan will win the Best Supporting Actress award for her role as the witch in Weapons. Okay, now we get to the point where things get interesting here. The last nine categories here, basically it's the Sinners versus One Battle After Another prize. I guess, so nine categories here, I guess seven really, because Sinners is nominated for Best Original Screenplay, and One Battle After Another is nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, so they're not competing against themselves in those two categories. But the rest of them, they're kind of going head to head. I think that One Battle After Another is going to take home the Best Director prize, that adapted screenplay prize, cinematography, and editing. Look, it seems like a real oversight that Paul Thomas Anderson hasn't won a Best Director Oscar yet. And I think this is the year that they're going to rectify that situation. I think he's going to win the Oscar here as a way of kind of splitting the vote. So you honor both movies by giving him this very high profile prize, whereas you're going to give Sinners the best picture. Oh, spoiler alert. By the way, I do think it's a little more iffy. I think editing is pretty solid for One Battle, but I think cinematography, that is not at all set in stone. I think both, as a matter of fact, I voted for Sinners in my guild ballots, but I kind of get the sense that people are talking more about One Battle for Another. So my official pick would be One Battle for Another, taking home the best cinematography. Now, over on the best supporting actor side, I think this is the most difficult race to call here because we have four really good performances. I mean, you do have Stellan Skarsgård, but I don't think he's going to win. I think it comes down once again to One Battle After Another versus Sinners. And while Sean Penn, that's actually who I voted for. I love a showy bad guy role here. I think he's very good, but he's already won twice, and he could be splitting the vote with Benicio del Toro. I think there are people that love both those performances. I love both those performances. They could split the vote, in which case the door could be open for either Skarsgård or especially Delroy Lindo of Sinners. How great would it be to see Delroy Lindo win this award? I would be thrilled if that happened. My vote is still for Sean Penn. I think he's going to win, but that would be his third Academy Award for an actor who's not particularly beloved in Hollywood. But I still think he's going to win. But man, I don't know. This is the award. One morning I wake up and I know for sure who I'm voting for, and the next morning, yeah, I have no idea. So this one's out to you guys. Which means that I think that Sinners is going to be the big winner of the night, which I'm thrilled about. Like I said, that was my pick for the best movie of the year. Hopefully, this is my not just my heart talking here, but I'd be thrilled if Sinners wins all these awards here. I do think it's the best picture of the year. I think Michael B. Jordan is going to win the Best Actor Oscar here. It's interesting because my vote went to Timothy Chalamet, but I think Hollywood has kind of turned on him. He's done some stupid things recently, and I think just at the wrong time. And so people have kind of moved on to the next guy. So I think in this case, you're going to have Michael B. Jordan take that award here. The casting award, which is the new Oscar category, I still think that most people don't understand what this award is. And so they're going to say, is that the best ensemble? And I think they'll give it to the film that they think is going to win the best picture, which in this case is going to be Sinners. So I think Sinners wins the casting award. I think it wins the best score. That seems to be fairly obvious because it's all about the movie is all about music. And so it makes sense that it has a wonderful score, a very deserving score as well. So I think it wins that one. And finally, the shorts, the dang shorts. Look, who can tell? These things are always kind of a crapshoot here. I've seen all of these movies except for one of them, and I think I have a fairly good idea about what's going to win, but, I make no promises here. My favorite of these categories is probably All the Empty Rooms, which is a documentary where Steve Hartman from CBS News goes around to photograph the bedrooms of children who were killed in school shootings. It's a very powerful movie, and it's just kind of shocking to see all these kids in their bedrooms. They're filled with their hopes and their dreams, knowing that these kids are no longer with us. That's a very good short documentary film called All the Empty Rooms. I think Butterfly is the one that's going to win the animated film, but the retirement plan that could also be there. But I'm going to go official with Butterfly. And then finally, two people exchanging saliva. I think this was a good movie. It was a fun movie, but I think it wins just on the title alone. So, two people exchanging saliva in the live action short. So, okay, there you have it. Like I said, my annual exercise in futility. Take them with a grain of salt, but that's who I think is going to win the Oscars on Sunday night. Please note, the Oscars seem to be starting a little earlier this year, 6 o'clock my time here in Texas, as opposed to 7. I think they're doing that because ABC wants to show a primetime program afterwards. So 6 o'clock, a little earlier. So if you tune in at 7, you may have missed the first couple of awards. But anyway, hope this helps. Hope this helps you with your Oscar ballots. Of course, if I get it perfect and you win some money, I will expect a cut of your winnings here. So anyway, happy Oscar nights, everyone. We'll talk to you later. Bye.